Welcome back to Arsenal Fans Hub, everyone. I'm Daniel Watts.
And I'm Jessica.
And we are here to explore that frustrating 1-1 draw against Chelsea yesterday.
Yeah, won the final score.
It was a real nail-biter.
Definitely.
But not the result we were hoping for.
Not at all. Especially with this draw stretching Arsenal's winless streak now to Premier League games. Yeah, 4.
Wow.
Which puts us 9 points behind Liverpool at the top of the table.
Yeah, it's a tough one to swallow.
It is.
But let's rewind back to the beginning.
Okay.
You know, seeing Martin Odegaard and Declan Rice back in that starting lineup.
Right.
I mean, you could almost feel a collective sigh of relief from Gooners everywhere.
Oh, absolutely. Their presence was felt immediately. I mean, think back to the early game. It was like their return just injected this sense of control and composure that we've been missing.
You're right.
Especially Odegaard. He wasn't just back. He was back and like pulling strings, dictating play.
Yeah.
Remember that disallowed Havertz goal?
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't remind me.
It was a roller coaster.
My heart skipped a beat when Rice took that quick free kick and Havertz slotted it in.
And then VAR.
VAR.
The ultimate party pooper.
I know, it was such a roller coaster of emotions.
It really was. But I think that disallowed goal, even though it was disallowed, it highlighted something crucial for me, which was just the quick thinking and vision of Rice.
Yes.
Even if it didn't count, it showed the kind of creative spark that he brings back to the team.
Yeah, agreed.
Yes.
Martinelli's goal.
What a goal.
Odegaard, with that pinpoint cross Martinelli finding space and that clinical finish.
Textbook Arsenal.
You could see the relief and the joy on everyone's faces.
And this is where Odegaard's influence really shines. You know, I remember all that talk about his control. That assist was a perfect example. It wasn't just about technical skill. It was about his understanding of the game, knowing where Martinelli would be, and delivering the ball exactly where it needed to be.
Yeah, it felt like a glimpse of the Arsenal we know and love.
It did.
But then, almost out of nowhere, Neto equalizes with a screamer from 22 yards out.
His first goal in a Chelsea shirt.
And boy, did he make it count.
He did. It was a goal worthy of winning any match.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I think it really exposed a vulnerability for Arsenal, that sudden shift in momentum from elation to frustration.
Right.
It's something we've seen a few times during this winless streak, and it makes you wonder, you know, why are we so susceptible to these momentum swings?
Yeah, is it a mental thing? Is it a tactical issue?
I don't know. It's a question worth exploring for sure.
And speaking of missed opportunities,
Right.
Trossard's late game miss was another gut punch.
Ugh, I know.
It could have set up Havertz for a winning goal, potentially changing the entire narrative of this match.
Absolutely. And it brings up a bigger point. Are we lacking that killer instinct in front of goal right now?
Oh, that's a good point.
We seem to be creating chances, but not capitalizing on them in the same way we did last season.
I think that's a fair assessment. It's not just about individual players missing chances. It's about the team's overall sharpness and ruthlessness in the final third, which seems to be a bit off at the moment.
Yeah, I think you're right. It feels like we're stuck in this cycle of almost, but not quite.
Almost, but not quite.
Yeah, and that's where the insights from our unnamed expert come in. You know, they offered a fresh perspective comparing Arsenal right now to having a bullseye on their back.
A bullseye. That's an interesting analogy.
It is, isn't it?
It makes sense, though, right? Last season, we were the underdogs.
We were.
Exceeding expectations this season. Everyone sees us as a team to beat.
Exactly. We're not sneaking up on anyone anymore, and that added pressure combined with the weight of expectation can be immense, especially for a young team like ours.
It's like everyone's raising their game when they play against us.
They are.
Looking to take down the top dog.
Yeah.
And the expert also brought up the Red Arrows comparison, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They said that when Arsenal are playing at their best, it's like watching the Red Arrows, that famous British aerobatic team.
Right. Precision, perfect timing, everyone in sync, a beautiful display of coordinated movement and execution.
I can definitely see that when our midfield is clicking and the passes are flowing seamlessly from defense to attack.
Yeah.
It's like watching a perfectly choreographed routine.
Yes.
But against Chelsea, it felt like we were missing that fluidity.
We would think about those moments when Partey, Rice, and Odegaard had the ball. The passing options just weren't there.
Yeah.
It felt more disjointed, more like individual moments of brilliance rather than that cohesive, interconnected play that defines us at our best.
So if we're going to extend this analogy a bit further,
Okay.
it was less red arrows soaring in perfect formation and more like pigeons scattering randomly in the park.
Okay, maybe pigeons is a bit harsh.
Baby.
But the point is, we're not seeing that same level of intuitive understanding and connection between players that makes us so dangerous.
Right.
And our expert believes that rediscovering that Red Arrows formation is crucial if we want to get back on track.
So what did they suggest needs to happen? How do we get back to that level of play? Well, they were pretty blunt about it. They said Arsenal needs a winning streak.
Correct.
And they need it now. No more dropped points, no more settling for draws. If we want to stay in the title race, we need to start stringing together victories and build that momentum again.
Yeah.
5 or 6 wins on the spin.
Wow.
That would do wonders for our confidence and put pressure on the teams above us.
It's a tall order, no doubt.
Yeah.
But is it impossible? I mean, we've seen this team pull off incredible runs before.
We have.
And with the international break coming up, maybe that will give the players a chance to rest, recover, and come back re-energized and refocused.
That break could be exactly what we need. A chance to reset, iron out those tactical kinks, and come back with that renewed sense of purpose and determination.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen the potential of this team,
Yes.
and now it's about turning that potential into consistent winning performances.
So this draw against Chelsea, while frustrating,
Yeah.
might not be the end of the world. It could be a turning point, a wake-up call that forces us to reassess, regroup, and come back stronger. But what about you watching that match? Did you see any glimmers of hope, or was it all doom and gloom?
Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It was a frustrating match to watch, but I refuse to lose hope. You know, we have a talented squad, a brilliant manager, and the most passionate fan base in the world. We've been through tougher times than this and come out on top. Now, I still believe in this team. We just need to rediscover that spark, that ruthlessness, that Red Arrows precision that makes us so exciting to watch.
I love your optimism.
Yeah.
And we want to hear from you, our amazing fans. What was your takeaway from the Chelsea match? What gives you hope that we can turn things around? Let's discuss in the comments.
Yes, let us know. Yeah, it's all about turning those moments of brilliance, you know, into a sustained, cohesive performance. We need to see those Red Arrows soaring high above the Premier League, not grounded on the runway.
That's the perfect way to put it. This draw against Chelsea has given us plenty to think about in terms of our current form and the challenges ahead. But as you said, it's not time to panic.
It's not.
It's time to analyze, to adapt, and to come back stronger.
Absolutely. And that's what we do here at Arsenal Fans Hub. We analyze, we debate,
They do.
and most importantly, we support the Arsenal through thick and thin.
Always, thanks for joining us for this in-depth look at the Chelsea match.
It's always a pleasure to break down these matches with you and all our fellow Gooners out there.
And don't forget, if you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button and subscribe to Arsenal Fans Hub for more passionate Arsenal analysis.
Yes.
We'll be back with more soon. But until then, keep the faith, Gooners.